Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Howdy, all you all. Privileged today to continue talking about how do we help new authors get started? And we're talking about writing books. So one of the things that I always lead my clients through is what's called the competitor analysis. Many people wait until the very end to do this, but for us, I think it's important you do it at the very beginning. I'm not talking about the typical competitor analysis. We're talking about market entry and penetration and uniqueness of your product, your book, or we're talking about the strengths or weakness. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about, who are they? What kind of books do they have? How big are they? What do the covers look like? What do they contain that you have? What value do you add because you have stuff that they don't have? How do they write their descriptions? What kind of reviews are they getting? What does their back cover look? A lot of things. So I took the time to go through 3 different kinds of books on Amazon and show you how I do a competitor analysis for my clients so that we can, on a Zoom meeting, the two of us can pull up Amazon and look at their particular genre and see, is that the genre they want to be in, or maybe they want to be in a slightly different one, because it tells you who the top 100 books in that particular category. So given that being the case, let's go ahead and pull up the video. It's going to be a 2-parter. And so we're going to go for about 9 minutes and some change, and then go for another 9 minutes and some change. But anyway, so let's go ahead and begin the video. Oh, hi, red.olaughlin here. We're doing a competitor analysis tonight on for new authors to figure out how should they price their books and what other valuable information can they get out of there. So let me share my screen. I just typed in memoir books into Amazon just to see what's there. I do several memoirs of the books that I publish. But if I'm looking and I'm writing my own memoir, what things do I want to know? Well, first thing I want to know is a little bit about the covers. What are the colors I use? Should I put my face on there? What kind of fonts do I use? Do I put my name at the top? Do I put my name at the bottom? What kind of price am I looking for? I try to look mostly at paperbacks. Let's just go ahead and take this, My San Antonio Childhood, a memoir. Okay, this 190 pages. It's 5.5 by 8, published 3 years ago. Let's just take a quick look at the contents. Michael Hall. And going on down here, a very short copyright. Dedication. Table of contents. And going into the book. Sometimes you need some others to help you get started, and this is one of them. So at the end of the book, it has about the author. Again, a very short one. This is the back cover. So he has a photograph, a little bit about him, more about the book, and a little bit of information for marketing for Amazon. So let's come back over here to the book. I want to know more about it. So I go down the page, and it says 190 pages, 5.25 by 8, and it's 107,000 in memoir books. Okay, let's find out what the number 1 book is. So I clicked on that. Somehow I got the wrong one. Memoir books. There we go. Bestsellers, these are the top literally 100 best-selling books that are memoirs. And I take a look at the top 8 or 10. You see the same books. I'm interested mostly in the paperback, but I look at, this is scenery, this is family, picture of the person, 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 person. I look at the colors. I look at the pricing, paperback, $9. But I look at, at least 20 or 30 of these. But it kind of gives me an idea of what do I want. Let's say that I want, okay, see, I can go to the next one. That's number 50. I can hit there number 2 and go to 100. But let's come back up to the top several books here. And I want to take something and send my designer. And let's say I like this one here with Matt Rife, this one here with Griffin Dunn, and this one here with Doris Kearns. I could take and get copies of each one of these and send them to my designer and say, I want similar colors, or I want a color that's whatever. I want my name at the top. I want whatever, but I want something like this. And it gives him a lot more specific guidance into actually what you want. So let's come back up here and look at the number 1 book. This is a paperback, so let's take a look at the paperback. So read more here. Okay, there's a little bit more information. So people buying a book online are generally going to come here and read this part because this is what it's going to tell them. If you're in a bookstore, you pick up the cover, turn it over, and it says there on the back 2 or 3 sentences what the book is about. So this is 5.5 by 8, and it's 298 pages. Let's come on down the page a little bit. We're looking for product information. We got reviews, we got the back cover. Here's our product details. So 288, weighs 2 pounds, and it's in different categories: state and local history, sociology, memoirs. So come down here, 100,000 ratings, almost 60%, 5-star. I come over, what do customers say about the book? I see things about sensitive, self-aware, colorful characters, things that are key words that I might want to be using. I come down here and I read 4 or 5 or more of the reviews, because this tells me how I need to write my reviews for other people. It also gives me a chance to pick out what are some of the key words that I want to be able to use for my book. So if I come on down here, I find this book fascinating on many levels, at least of which is a dichotomy between a strong family, umpty. So anyway, this gives you a way of being able to see what people are saying about it and what might be applicable to your book. So that being said, let's come back up here and out of that. And let's now go to romance. If I can spell it correctly. Romance books. Okay. These are the current ones that, if you type something in, this is what Amazon's going to show you. And I got a paperback. Okay, this one here was $11, now $8. This one here was 18, now 11. 13, now 7. 11, now 7. 17, now 10. So it kind of gives me, I'm in that $7 to $12 range for this kind of book. But let's learn more about this book. So let's click on it. I see book 1 of 4, so there's 4 books out there. And I also see 75,000 reviews already. This one here has 43,000, 6,000, 37,000. Let's go ahead and click on King of Wrath. And I see 416 pages, book 1 of 4. And it's a 5.5 by 8.5. There are the other books. On down the page. About the author, a little bit more about the information here. But what I'm really interested in is this best-selling rank. Billionaire romance, new adult and college romance, contemporary romance. Let me click on contemporary. This is 564. I want to know what number 1 is. This is the number 1 romance book, Colleen Hoover. So I look at these again. What are the colors? What are the fonts? What kind of images do they have on them? What are their pricing for the different varieties of them? So and again, over here on the left, if I want to have something about action adventure, erotica, historical, military, lots of different ways to look at this thing. But I want to look at this particular romance book. I come down here and this is the description up front that you will be putting into Amazon. You'll have a much shorter one on the back of the book. And I look at this thing and it's book 1 of 2. It's 360, looks like 364 pages. And it's not 3 by 2. I tell you that for sure. There's an error there. So let's read a little sample of it just to see what it's like. We come in here and these are other books put in the front of the book for easy to find. It ends with us. And a much larger copyright page. And this, just take it and use what you need out of this. There's a lot of good information about how you should put your copyright in your book. Dedication, no chapter commerce, it's a romance book, no table of contents. So we're just going to come down the page and see what they say about the author at the end. I'll usually give you 30 or 40 pages that you can read, and I just somehow clicked out of that. See if I get back down again without too much difficulty. Very long book here. Okay, we're almost to the end of this one. Okay, here we go. About the author. A very short about the author. That's the cover. Here's the back cover. Again, a lot of information about the description of the book and a fairly short one about the author in a photo. Let's see if they have it here. No. That's it. That's the end of the book. Page 376, it says. Back to the book here. And you can see how big the book is. It's not a 2-inch by 3-inch book. Let's come on down the page to product information, editorial reviews about the author. Just see here. Okay, chapter 1 excerpt. I don't need the chapter 1 excerpt. That's pretty long. I'm not sure why it's in there, but somebody thought it should be. 384 pages, 12 ounces. And again, they have it very short, but new adult, contemporary romance, contemporary women's fiction. Let's see what they say down here at the bottom. 330,000 reviews, almost 80% of them 5-star. What do people find about it? Easy to get invested into. Love the twist at the end. Plot interesting. But now I come down here and literally, this is a minefield of information for key words, for key phrases, and it helps you a lot when you're writing something for someone else. And you have, here's a Brazilian one, Mexican one, lots of information there. Let's come back up here. We're going to look at one more kind of book. Let's look at public speaking books. Okay. These are the ones that they recommend to you. Dale Carnegie, obviously, is one that's been around forever and ever and ever. So why don't we just, okay, there's a paperback, 1850 paperback, was 23, now 17. Paperback, $29, $30. Paperback was 19, now 12. Okay, so these are books you're paying for value because they're giving that information. So let's click on this one. It's a paperback. Over there in a second. So let's see, read more. Okay, it gave me some bullets. It gave me a nice little thing down here at the bottom and more bullets. Very well done, I think, on the description. 200 pages, 5 by 8.5. Let's look inside the book. Okay. There's cover. Copyright, significantly more than what you've seen on the other books. Dedication page, contents. I like to look at the table of contents, seeing what do they have that I don't have, that I should have? What do I have in my books that they don't have? I think that's very critical because that's the value I'm adding to my reader. The reader can order this book, read it, but they wouldn't have my particular information because it's not available in this book. Okay, preface and goes into introduction, etc. It's going down to the end. Okay, talk back about the author. A little bit more than the other books we looked at. 3 pages. And biographies. So he's including a lot of information about what he extracted from other sources. In this particular case, is about half and half. The descriptions up here, but a lot of information about the author, the font being slightly smaller. So let's get back. But what's the #1 book in public speaking? That's what we don't know. So it's going back down here to where we were. We got reviews. We have a nice little information about the author. Again, 201 pages, 5.5 by 8.5. But I have public speaking reference. I have running meetings and presentations. And I have communication skills. Let's just pick communication skills. Okay. The first one I have is an audiobook, hardcover, Kindle, paperback, audio, a lot of audiobooks here. This one, building a brand story brand is really good. Anyway, let me just pick this first hardcover here because I want to be able to look at a book for sizing. This says a 6 by 9. Yeah, let's take a look at. And again, he uses bullets for this. I think that's a good way of being able to separate out the information you have. Let's look a bit about what's inside the book. Read a little bit about it. Okay. Click over. See if we can figure out what happened. There we go. Just took a few minutes to load. There we go. Okay, so goes right straight into the book. I didn't even see a copyright or anything else. It just says copyrighted material. Okay. So we go on down. There's that. We should have. Okay, here we go. A little too premature. So their copyright is a little bit shorter. Dedication. Again, table of contents. And let's go take a look at the end here. Each of these books generally have a, whoops, here's what I wanted to show. When you're some kinds of books you want to have in libraries. And when you have a book that you think would go well in a library, one of the things they like are lots of other information. Your, what were your sources? Specific notes on the different chapters. These are the things that they use to write that chapter. But this one also has what's called an index. How many times did they use the word active listening, or they use the word agreement, and in what context and what pages are they on? So if you're publishing a book that needs to go into a library, you think that would be of value to you, you really and truly should have an index. They're difficult to put together, not impossible, just difficult. So anyway, as you can see, quite long. Okay, here we get about the author, 2 of them. One has a picture, the other one does not. And then we get to the back cover. And on the back cover, we don't have anything about the authors to speak of. It's just all description. So let's get back up here. Is there anything else? Yes, let's look at the reviews. Down here to the bottom, I want to see what kind of reviews it's getting. Okay, we already looked at that. Okay, there's the two pictures, and this one has 44,000, 80% of them 5-star. What do the people say about it? Simple, easy to follow, helps them understand. So I come down here and I start reading these. What is something here that would be, if I wrote the book, I would want somebody to say that about it. And so I extract out keywords, I extract out key phrases, and I put that together. So when I write my description or I use it for marketing material, it provides that level of information. Okay, top reviews from other countries: Canada, Brazil, Mexico, India, Spain. Lots of information that can be gleaned by looking at your competitors. So with that, I think I am going to stop sharing and stop recording. LAUGHLIN again on Talking Heads on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. We're also on Roku, on E360 TV, and Amazon Fire, and YouTube, and several of them. So easy to find. When I tell people to do the competitor analysis first before they write their book, it gives them a good idea of the organization of the material that other people have, the size of the books. Most of the ones that we're talking about here are generally around that 5x8, 6x9 category. 140 pages is probably a realistic for a short book. 240 pages for maybe a little bit more, but you see some of the novels are at 300-400 pages. If you have a 400-page book or more, maybe it might be two 200-page books, something to consider. So when you're looking at those kinds of things, who is your competitor? What size books do they have? What do their covers look like? You would ideally like to have your cover look similar to a million sales book cover, because that's important. That is something that attracts people's attention as they're walking through a bookstore. They see something that catches their attention, they'll pick it up and look at it. So from that perspective, it gives you the ability. Do I want my face on that book? Well, I look at the top 20 books and nobody else has a face on it. Maybe not a good idea. But if there's faces on, a third of them, maybe so. But I use AI to generate a cover based on what I'm seeing. I send that out along with 3 or 4 AI generations to a designer saying, this is what I want. But I can also send the little postage stamp size cover image to my designer and say, I want something very similar to the same colors. Here's my information. So now I'm taking a best-selling book, and I'm talking about millions of sales, and adapting my book to look like it. That's also a value. But when I start knowing who my competitors are, what are they offering, but my real value is what am I offering that they're not offering. And I know that because I can go through their table of contents. I don't have to buy the book to get the whole book, but I have a good idea of exactly what they want. Now, one of the things I recommend to my clients is that their chapter should always be in style sheets, because when you use style sheets on Microsoft Word, it automatically generates a table of contents. Makes things so much easier. No matter what you put in, take out, change, it's always going to pull up the current chapter. Now, if you're writing an ebook, everything's going to be related as a clickable link, hot link. So I think that's a very valuable thing when you're writing the book, to use style sheets. If you're not familiar with them, go to YouTube. Lots and lots of tutorials there that show you how to do it. But you can also go to these people's websites, find out what they have with regard to their social media. What do they have with regard to their marketing programs? Look at their Facebook, look at their social media, see how they're marketing their product. The better information you can get about how that genre of book is distributed in the workplace, the better they are. So why not copy somebody who has great success? They have 4 best-selling romance novels, and there's 40,000 or more views. Yeah, that's success. That's something that you probably need to pay attention to. So when you're putting your book together, this can be done at the end, but it's a little too late to change things, but you can still use that information to do cover generation. But when you're writing the book, it gives you a good pathway, a good guide to say, yeah, I want to cover these things, but 2 things here are mine, another 4 or 5. So it allows you to put your book together and have something of immense value. So with that, we're going to conclude today's Talking Heads on the USA Global TV and Radio Network, and I will see you next week on the show. Take care of y'all. Bye now.
Meet Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. She is a certified life, career, and executive coach. Dr. Jacqueline is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Behind the Green Screen and Adversity to Awesome. As the listening mentor, she teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level through the book series titled The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The Creative Hearts Awakening book series features heart-centric creatives who share their awakening journey. Through the Power of Listening educational course platform, people can get certified as elevated listeners on USA Global TV and Radio. Learn how to center yourself and align with nature through the power of nature, plants, and shrines. The Journey of Chakra Psychology course will educate you on the chakras and their meaning. The Intuition of the Heart course will help you understand how to trust your intuition. Learn how to face the shadows of self and understand the impact of following trends and materialism. Set boundaries and ask for permission to help establish better relationships, deeper connections, and more authentic conversations. Take your communication expertise to a higher level with the course for curious humans. After all, we are not robots. Looking to start your own podcast platform? Get everything you need in the Podcaster Pro package with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. How can music, breath, and your voice set you free? Find out with the Power of Listening courses. Dr. Jacqueline is a certified meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and Juice Plus distributor. She will help you create a plan for your healthy lifestyle. As an expert in the art of interviewing with over 3,000 hosted and/or produced live broadcasts, Dr. Kerbeck helps her clients stand out as global broadcasters. Dr. Kerbeck's books are available on Amazon. Start your listening journey by reading. Tune into the Listening Mentor TV show, Fridays on USA Global TV, and learn how listening can be your superpower. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, MBA, DBA, Certified Holistic Life, Career, and Executive Coach, Certified Yoga Sculpt Teacher, Certified Meditation Teacher, the Listening Mentor, Singer-Songwriter, Founder, President, Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. drjacqueline.com. Thank you to all our elevated listeners, team members, animal characters, and co-authors. Contact us at 215-852-9406. Jacqueline at drjacqueline.com.